So, Elon Musk and Twitter. Now, in previous videos, I've mentioned that Elon Musk was in the process of buying Twitter. I might have mentioned that he was then not buying Twitter and then he bought Twitter. And I think one of my videos is titled The Bird is Free. So the title of this video, I think, has to be The Bird is Free-ish. Because as we know at the time that this video was released, that Elon Musk has taken a lesser of a hands-on role, and as I understand it, he's still in the process of looking for a CEO type person to manage Twitter. And he's more of a chairperson in the background function right now. But Elon Musk buying Twitter conjures up a lot of discussion or issues around social media. Now, for many people, I imagine that their consumption of social media is literally liking their friends' photos, themselves uploading their photos to Facebook, Instagram, tweeting about things on Twitter. But most people may be less on Twitter, because Twitter, I suppose, is a platform where personalities and people, with sound bites and sentences that they want to get out to the world, they're more likely to use that. Most people using social media, I imagine, and my experience is that they're uploading their holiday figures, uploading their holiday photos, and their family and friends like them. Now, once again, that is a good aspect of social media, and but if you listen to the news, you watch the news. You can't escape the negative aspects of social media. And often the comment of social media being a hellscape, and to a large degree, I view social media, I can see it for its good, but I can also see it for its negative. And I've also been in the process of going through the research and design of a new social media platform, and I can tell you it is a massive, horrible job, because you have to employ so much bandwidth of understanding, so much large scope of subject matter, and that's before you've got to the design of it. Although for me, the scope of what it can do, what it is, does translate into the design somewhat, but it might be a project that is just way too big for me, because it requires so much resource and so much money that it might just be impossible. But that's my link onto Elon Musk Twitter today being free-ish, because what you can't get away from is the $44 billion that he paid for it. Now, in one respect, would a person buy a social media platform to make a point? And if he did that, $44 billion is one heck of a price tag. And in business, in big business, making $44 billion mistakes, it tends to be too big for you to be able to absorb. And knowing that of Elon Musk that I know, I don't personally know him, but I know him a little bit through of what I'm aware of. It makes me think, I'm sure he's really thought about Twitter's value going into the future. Although my own valuation of Twitter, if I'm really honest, I would say that Twitter is only worth about $1 billion. Look, that's my opinion. I could be wrong, but I would put Twitter's value today at $1 billion. So if Elon Musk bought it for 44, one of us is way off the mark there. Now, maybe it's worth more than 1 billion, and some people, I'm sure, will claim that it's worth half of that, but I don't believe that. I think it's worth 1 billion. But what I think Elon Musk was doing was he was thinking about the future, and he was probably thinking between 3 and 5 years ahead. And Twitter has it's already functioning. It has a massive user base. It's already greatly recognized. It has a super name, and it's already there and installed. Now, one of the other things about social media and thinking about creating a new social media environment, I know and we know that it's very, very hard entering that marketplace, because if you were to redesign or create a new Facebook, for example, even though it might be slightly better, and lots of people might think it's better for this reason and that reason, actually convincing half the world's population that they should just switch over to Facebook, you might find it's very interesting why they don't do that. And it's because social media has become a little bit like a utility. It's almost like having gas and electricity and water being plumbed into your house, and you're being invited to change supplier. And if your house has had gas, water and electricity for a year or two, and the price seems comparable, there's very little incentive to move. And I use that analogy sometimes to explain why people might not go over to a different social media platform if that social media platform is the same. Now, my own plans and intentions are actually, to offer, a different platform. But saying that, right now, it's just my intention. I have done a lot of work in this area. But I'm aware the challenges are enormous, and unless you have some very deep pockets or investors that have a lot of risk appetite, getting the work done to even take your concept to a working prototype is incredibly difficult, and it's a massive hill to climb. And the financial risks are enormous, so you have to think it through very carefully. But going back to Elon Musk's $44 billion flex, I suppose. Although I don't think it is a flex. I think Elon has X.com, and I imagine that he does have plans for that social media vehicle. Also, it wouldn't surprise me if he has, if he's already planning some additional functionality, like building in a payment system. We know he's come from PayPal. I've always thought, a social media platform with a payment system built in, it makes sense. But then very quickly you think about China's social media platform, and there's a lot of negatives being offered about that. Does a person really want so much authority and control inside one app? So that muddies the water a little bit with the possibility of Twitter gaining more popularity and having this payment system built in. Would that work? I can't imagine Elon being so draconian actually, and having such a negative controlling view. So I don't think that. I imagine that his thoughts are along the line of making the user experience better and simply offering a new product that does something better than you are getting it from elsewhere. So I don't think there's anything too spooky there. But if you think about it, having that social media platform with its already established brand name and customer base, and an already established revenue stream, building it, probably is a lot easier than starting from scratch. And I imagine that what he may have thought was, starting from scratch, it's going to cost me, a lot of money anyway. We're probably into the billions anyway to start from scratch. Not 44 billion, but we're probably heading towards the billion mark anyway. to have our new designed platform, and we don't necessarily have any guarantees that people would come over to it. If we buy Twitter, we already have an established platform, so that those hard yards have already been done. And I think that's why he's put the value of 44 billion on that, because he's thinking about the future and thought to himself, this thing in the future is going to be worth that or more. And it's a big risk, but he fancied buying Twitter anyway. And I think an awful lot of good has come out of him buying Twitter, especially around the area of censorship. And I think we should hopefully see good things there. But it has muddied the water a little bit, but I think it's good. Anyway, I am super interested in Twitter's value today and where it will go in the future. For Elon, I hope the platform does maintain a value around the $40 billion mark. If it goes higher, that would be super, and maybe the new Twitter in the future will be a great thing. And 44 billion might become a very reasonable cost that he bought it for when he bought it. If not, it's going to be a very, very expensive, labor intensive thing that I imagine he might try and get rid of and lose as least amount of possible money that he can. But that is one great big thing to have in your work portfolio, and you're trying to do something great with it. But the challenges are enormous there, and it's going to be so interesting to see. But I'm an Elon Musk fan, so I wish him the best. I also wish Twitter the best, and all of Twitter's employees, because all the people working for Twitter right now are hopefully all on board with Elon and all share this human vision, and all share the prosperity that I imagine is being built into Twitter right now. So yeah, someone like me, I only wish Twitter the best, and I wish Elon the best, in this Twitter place. And I hope something very interesting, unusual and great comes out of it. Anyway, I just wanted in this video to talk about the bird is free-ish and Twitter and Elon Musk. And it's so interesting because he's paid so much money for that platform, and I hope something good comes of it. Anyway, at that I shall say hello, although it's the end, and I hope everyone's well, and speak again soon.